Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree if you are new here, and in today's video I'm going to be testing the top rated cream makeup products from Sephora. So I have 5 different products in front of me to test out. So if you guys are interested in seeing me try on these products and hearing my thoughts, then just keep on watching. Alright, obviously I already did my eyes and put on my foundation and concealer, because rightfully the next step would be bronzer. I am going to be honest with you, I'm still going to do my makeup how I have been doing it, so which involves cream products regardless, but I am still going to set down the cream bronzer and the cream blush and maybe the cream highlight with powder, because first of all, it has been so motherfucking humid here recently and I have a really long day ahead of me, so I need my makeup to last as long as possible. But at the end of the day, yeah, of course I want to test these products and be like, yeah, this cream product by itself, this is how it lasts on the skin. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure that these products work the best for me. And I know that in a couple video relatively recently, but I don't remember which one, I had tried a new cream bronzer and I went to go set it down with a powder bronzer like I have been doing for like probably well over a month now, and it was a fucking nightmare. So for myself personally and for the way I do my makeup, I want to make sure that these products are going to work how I want them to work. So obviously, you know, there's your standard wear test, but I want to make sure that this is going to work for how I like to do my makeup. And like I said, I want to say in another video that I've done relatively recently, I do plan on doing a full updated base tutorial showing you guys how exactly I do everything, since I have kind of updated how I do my makeup relatively recently. So definitely stay tuned for that if that's something that you're interested in. But let's just get in. And I have unboxed literally everything because I bought these a couple months ago and I needed to remember which colors I got so that I could appropriately wear my eyeshadow. But the very first product is the Rare Beauty bronzer stick, and I have the shade Happy Soul. So I personally, it's so shiny, I am not a fan of going directly onto the skin with a stick. I much prefer to start out directly onto a brush. I am going to bounce this on the back of my hand just to kind of get off some of the excess, because I think more came off than I was expecting. Okay, this definitely isn't as emollient as some of the cream bronzers that I've tried recently. Now granted, that's been like all potted ones. It hasn't been in a stick form. So maybe that kind of lends it to being able to be a little bit more emollient because it just is held in something rather than like it having to keep its shape as a stick. But this one definitely isn't as emollient as like the ABH one or the NARS one or the Makeup Revolution one that I've been trying recently. It's not bad per se, it's just not blending out as well as the other ones. I do go a little bit heavy on my forehead, but I also set my forehead, so it kind of ends up blending in. So there you can see half of my face with the bronzer. You can see like it just doesn't blend as well as I would like. It's not bad, it's just not perfect. I do however have a feeling that this might be one that'll be easy to like set with powder. And I also wonder if this one might be one that just might blend better with a sponge. I don't want to get another sponge dirty right now, but I will definitely try that and like let you guys know in a speed review. Yeah, like the ABH one and then the NARS one in particular, like they blend so easily. Like such little effort is put into the actual blending process. Like you just press it on your skin and it somehow just kind of like is blended, you know? So that is something to keep in mind. I don't think it's bad. I really don't. Like I said, I'll have to see how it'll like set with the way that I like to do my makeup and how it lasts throughout the day. Like, I'm not mad at it. I think I'm just like a little bit underwhelmed is maybe the word that I'm looking for. All right, so next up I have two blushes. The first one that I have is the LYS Satin Matte Cream Blush in the shade Kindness. That's what it looks like right here. I love this packaging. My only complaint about the packaging is just like if I had multiple of these, I wouldn't be able to tell which one it is because they're all an identical packaging. But it is a beautiful, just kind of peachy pink. In real life, it looks almost a little bit more neutral, just a little bit, but it's still a very, very beautiful color. Next up, I have the ABH Stick Blush in the shade Nectarine. So this one is a little bit more orangey. This one does come with a brush attachment. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I'll never use that. Like, how would I wash that without getting water all over this end, you know? So this one is Nectarine, this one is LYS. There isn't like a dip, it's completely blended out, but there isn't like a difference in depth to them. So I can't go like, you know, deeper back there and more towards the apples of the cheeks. But I think I'm gonna take the LYS and put that more towards the outer perimeter, and then I'll go in towards my cheeks with Nectarine. It's definitely very, very creamy and like emollient feeling. It's not bad. I didn't like pick up anything else. I'm gonna keep that open in case I need that mirror. But I'm gonna go in clean brush and swipe it over the ABH Nectarine. And I don't know how much of a difference we're really gonna be able to see between these two, but I'll be able to get a good idea if it's like picking up in this area. Okay, it did pick up a little bit. Let me zoom you guys in. I feel like you're pretty much already zoomed in all the way. Hello? It did pick up right a little bit in this area right here. I don't know how well you guys are gonna be able to see that. Just a little bit. I think it'll be okay. I would say, as I cool off the back of my neck, because it's so sweaty in here. So sweaty everywhere. I will say that I feel like when it comes to cream or stick bronzers and blushes, I don't know, I don't think that I love the formula of them necessarily. And I think that if I were to use a cream bronzer and blush, I would more than likely just go with the Wet n Wild bronzer sticks and the ColourPop blush sticks. Like, to me, those are so much more affordable and they're creamier and like easier to blend. I don't know 100% about the ABH one just because, you know, I don't know. But at least when it comes to the Rare Beauty bronzer, I would probably sooner just go with the Wet n Wild blush bronzer sticks. Or I think they're called like their contour sticks or something like that. I have two different highlights. I'm gonna use one now, and then I'm gonna attempt to use one after I have set down my face with powder, and I'll kind of explain that a little bit later. But this right here is the Merit highlighting balm, and this one is in the shade Bounce. So this is what it looks like right here. Really rather underwhelming, if I'm being honest with you. Like, you can barely see anything. So I'm gonna go in with my finger, I think is gonna be the move here. Honestly, I haven't even really been wearing cream highlights lately. I tend to just do cream bronzers and cream blushes, and then I'll set down my face with, you know, also this smells like ass. But anyways, I will set down my face with like a cream, or set down my face with powder, bronzer, blush, and a powder foundation, and then I will go in with a powder highlight. Okay, once you kind of like really start melting it, like you can see it's getting quite melty, then it has some something to it. A little more to it. You still can't really even see it. It's very close to my skin tone and it doesn't have a whole lot of shine to it. This strikes me as something that would be really good for somebody who really likes, like they want to glow but they don't really want to wear anything else on their face. That's pretty much it. It doesn't really have too much of anything to it. Okay, so I'm gonna jump off and I'm gonna set everything down off of camera just because, honestly, because I need to turn on the fucking air conditioner. So I'm gonna set everything off of camera and I will be back. I'll show you guys like how everything's set and everything like that, but I think we should be okay. I'm not too terribly concerned. I'm only honestly really concerned where that highlight is. All right, so everything did set down really nicely, which I am very, very happy about. Like everything just looks really smooth and good. I had like one little spot right here that like everything kind of shifted around a little bit, but honestly, I think that that's partially because of that cream highlight. And I think I might have just gotten like a little bit too aggressive with my sponges or with my brushes. I was kind of like putting product on my nose. It is what it is. It's not super noticeable by any means. You can just kind of see like a little line right there, but it's whatever. Anyways, so the last product that I'm going to be trying in today's video, a very long time coming. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter for a Superstar Youth Glow. I have the shade 1 Fair. So the reason why I saved this until after I set my powder, I have been using Auric Glow Lust for probably about a year and a half now at this point. I got it when it launched, and that product is amazing to mix in with foundation. It uses a primer, it uses a cream highlight, you know, on just regular cream makeup day. But I realized maybe 6 months into having the product that I could take it and I could work it really well into a sponge, like literally apply the product to a sponge. I have a sponge right here. Apply the product to a sponge and then just kind of like really get it in there, and I could press it over a kind of set face, not like an aggressively set face, not like, you know, loose powder is just caked on like how I used to, but I could do that and it still looked beautiful and it didn't move the product around a ton, and it just, everything looked really beautiful. I have been trying the e.l.f. whatever the fuck it is, the new one that's supposed to be a dupe for this one. I have been trying that, but I haven't tried this yet. And obviously I could have used this in all of the different ways that I just listed Glow Lust, but I figured I want to try this in the way that I used Glow Lust and see if it holds up, because that's my favorite way to use it. So here it is right here. It has a beautiful glow to it, like I'm not gonna lie, it has a beautiful glow, and if it doesn't work out this way, I'm gonna try it in all the other different ways. I'll find use for it. I can say that it feels very similar in consistency to Glow Lust, and there's a fucking hair. It feels very similar in consistency to Glow Lust, like very similar in consistency. Ew, I just got some under my nail. And personally, like as I'm kind of working it in between my fingers, it feels a little bit thinner and a little bit more emollient than the e.l.f. one. It feels like it just has a little bit more oil in it than the e.l.f. one. So just things to keep in mind, but I'll kind of update you guys and tell you all about all of that in like my speed reviews, because I'll be talking about the e.l.f. one in the speed reviews as well. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the little doe foot guy, I'm gonna get the hair off of my sponge, and I'm gonna apply it to my sponge right here. Just one little, I'm gonna really work it in, just like that, and then I'm gonna pray. So I'm really trying to not like overwork it into my skin, because that's when I'll start to disturb everything else that's going on there. And so the biggest piece of advice that I could give here is keep it focused like towards the top, so you have some blank space that you can use kind of almost as like a diffuser sort of situation. and you want to use very little product, otherwise you'll get a little aggressive. And just be gentle. Like, you're not blending in foundation here. You're blending in a cream product over a powder product, and you just want to be very gentle. Just because there's like a little bit of a line of demarcation here, which is kind of not unexpected. Now, if you do this in a very, very sheer layer, it's not going to look like you've covered your face in highlight, especially because this is such a soft highlight. Now, I might go back in and put a little bit more bronzer kind of back here. Maybe just, honestly, maybe even just a little bit more blush. I feel like might be the better move. Just kind of like to kind of offset how light this is. So I'm probably going to do that off of camera. But I'm going to jump off and finish up the rest of my face. But just side note really quick, I'm kind of obsessed with the... I shouldn't be surprised. Like, this is a cult classic product for a reason. And I already know that I love products that it's very similar to, so I shouldn't be surprised that I love it. But I'm gonna go jump off and finish up the rest of my face. I'll be back to show you guys the final look. I accidentally like glued this lash like fucking in my lash line. Like, it's like half under my lashes, half on top of my lashes. Which it looks nice and blended, but fucking A, it feels weird. Let's just kind of, just because we don't have a lot of product to talk about today, let's go ahead and just, you know, talk about my thoughts, my feelings. First product that I tried was the Rare Beauty stick bronzer stick, fucking whatever, in Happy Soul. It's decent. Like, it's not bad. It's a good color. I do really like the shade. It's just, even when you're starting to blend it, it almost has like a powdery quality to it, which I feel like if you're somebody that doesn't like to set down your bronzer, that might come in handy as, you know, something for a little bit more longevity, you know. But myself personally, it's not like that doesn't make or break it for me. Like, I don't need it to have a lot of longevity on its own, because I do, again, like to set my face with powder. It's not the best bronzer stick that I've ever tried. It's not the best cream bronzer that I've ever tried, but I do think that it's nice. If I recall correctly, it wasn't crazy expensive. It doesn't smell bad, but it doesn't have like a fragrance to it. It just kind of just smells like makeup. Yeah, overall, not awful. I'm curious to see like how much. Oh, that's just like it's a little phallic looking. Not a ton of product for how big the container is. I'm gonna be honest with you. You get about an inch worth of product, so it, you know, there's a lot of packaging there for arguably not very much product. Now, obviously, you don't use a ton because it's quite pigmented. It just didn't blend as well as I would have liked overall. That's pretty much where I would put it. It's not bad. I'll definitely finish it up. It's not like, oh my god, like that's the worst thing I've ever put on my face. But do I think that it's worthy of being one of the top rated like cream bronzers at Sephora? I don't. I think, honestly, I think a lot of that just comes from the general obsession with the Rare Beauty line. That's pretty much where I'd put that. Next up is the LYS High Standard Satin Matte Cream Blush in the shade Kindness. I do really, really like this a lot. Like, I think that it's very, very pretty. It's really emollient, which I like in a cream product. It's a good shade. It blended out well. It didn't like do anything crazy to my makeup underneath it or anything like that. I just think that it's a really pretty tone. I do like that it is definitely on the more matte side. I have some of the NYX and LA Girl like soft matte cream blushes that are definitely like more matte than this. I already wiped it off. I don't even know why I showed you my hand. With those ones, I was able to even like, I could put powder on my face and I was able to put a little bit of those on a brush and even go over powder, and it didn't like disturb anything or get anything weird, like do anything weird. I don't think that I would be able to do that with this one, but I do think that this is really nice. really cute packaging, nice mirror inside of there. I just think that it's decent. These are about the same amount of product, by the way. This is 0.25, this is 0.23. This just feels like it's so much more product. Anyways, next up is the, which now I'm curious. And this is 0.28. What? The ABH Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Blush. So again, about an inch worth of product. This is just a much smaller packaging, and also take into consideration like this could be even smaller packaging if you took the brush off the end. Again, I find the brush to be kind of useless. It doesn't feel bad, like it feels like a decent enough brush, albeit probably a little bit more stiff than I personally like. My thing is just like, how the fuck would you clean this? Like, how would you clean the brush, you know, without getting water all up in the rest of the product? So that's my biggest thing. This one is also really nice. It's a little bit more like, how do I put it? Like not as emollient as the LYS one. It was kind of like on original swatching. It was like bunching up a little bit. And that one was the one that definitely did like kind of break down my makeup right here just a little bit. It totally covered up. It didn't even really end up being an issue, but it did break up my makeup just a little bit. It kind of picked it up and moved it around when I was working with a brush. It might be one that's better served with a sponge. Who fucking knows? I'll give it a shot. But overall, I think that the color's really nice. I do think that it blends out a little bit more than I was honestly kind of expecting for it to. Like, it kind of loses a lot of that like orangey intensity that I was really hoping that it would have, just, you know, based on how that looks. I was expecting a lot more orangey peachy intensity than it kind of actually gives, but it's a nice soft blush. It's pretty, again, just not my favorite. Overall, just not something I would reach for, you know. Next up is the Merit Highlighting Balm in the shade Bounce. I don't know. Honestly, I think, so I really built that up on my arm, like really fucking built that up just for you guys to be able to see it. It's fine. It's way too emollient and way too oily to use on top of product. If I'm being honest with you, more than likely the way that I will use this product up is I will probably use it as some form of like primer. I will probably see how that works. It even then might still be too oily, but like once it's blended out, the sheen is like just like goes away. Overall, just a total miss of a product, just not good. I want to say that aside from the Hollywood Flawless Filter, let me pull up my thing really quick. Let me backtrack here because this actually does change my opinion just a little bit. So this is only $16, and from Sephora, that's super affordable. And for that reason, I would definitely say that this totally deserves to be in one of the top rated like categories. It's for $16, that's a decent amount of product. It's a good product, and I definitely could see why that's so much more rated now that I've actually seen what the fucking price of it is. Again, this, I'm not saying that it's necessarily worth $23. This, I would say, is definitely not worth $32. The ColourPop blush sticks are way better than this, and like, what, a fourth of the price? Anyways, yes, where I was actually going with this is, this thing's fucking $30. This right here is half the amount of all of the rest of the ones that I've already talked about. You get this little nub here. It just doesn't have the payoff. It doesn't have the quality, the pigment, the texture is just not good to wear over makeup. And if I'm being honest with you, it already smells. That's fucking why. That explains so much. It already smells like it is starting to turn. Like it really does. Which makes sense because it is a clean beauty product, which means it has basically no fucking preservatives in it whatsoever. Fuck, I'm just out of my return window on it, I'm pretty sure. Okay, well on the app, it let me start a return, so I actually have to go to the mall today. So I am more than likely going to actually return this because it literally just smells like it's already going bad. It just has that smell to it. If you've played around with makeup a lot, you know that smell. You know that makeup starting to go bad smell. So I am gonna go ahead and return it. I don't think it's like an issue that I put it on my face today, but I definitely don't have any interest in continuing to put it on my face, especially now that it's been opened. So hopefully I can return it, even if maybe if just like some fucking like a store credit or some shit. But yeah, this was the first time I opened it. I hadn't swatched it, I hadn't done anything with it, and it already doesn't smell nice. So, and for that fucking price. Let's talk about the star of the show, because this one's definitely my favorite. This is the Hollywood Flawless Filter for a Superstar Youth Glow. Once again, I have the shade Fair. Like, I'm sorry, look at that fucking glow. Look at my forehead, look at that shine. This is over powder. You guys saw me do it. It looks so fucking good. I am so happy with this. And if I'm being honest with you, I'm actually really happy that I got it in the shade Fair, because this is substantially lighter than my Glow Lust. My Glow Lust, you know what, hold on. Let me grab that and let me grab the e.l.f. ones, and we'll just kind of chat about it for a minute. I mean, first things first, the packaging on all three products, perfect, stunning, beautiful. Okay, so, did this in a really weird way. Right here is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. So like I was saying, I'm glad that I got it in such a fair shade, because selenite is a little bit deeper and has just a different undertone to it. So these are gonna, you know, I'm gonna be able to use these throughout the year, like interchangeably, and I love that. And then bottom down here are the e.l.f. Halo Glow liquid filters. I got Fair and Fair Light because I wasn't sure. So this one's Fair and then this one's Fair Light. Fair Light actually seems to be a slightly better shade for me, but honestly I use them both pretty interchangeably. Fair is lighter, but Fair Light has a better undertone for me. It's a little bit more yellow. So this one's more icy. This one's a little bit more pinky. This one's just a little bit more neutral undertoned. This one's a little bit more, yeah, this one's a more neutral undertone as well, and then this one's a lot more yellow. But overall finish, they're super similar. They all feel very, very similar. They just, you know, are different shades. But generally, across the board, so fucking similar. Like once everything's all blended out, looks very similar. The Charlotte Tilbury one actually appears to have the least amount of glow to it out of all of them. So yeah, overall, very, very happy that I got the Charlotte Tilbury one. Obviously, that is definitely one of my standout products between that and then the LYS cream blush. But overall, I mean, I'm not mad at the purchases except for the fucking Merit one. That's the only thing I'm not mad at. That's the only thing I am mad at, honestly. Much more successful than my last testing top rated, which I tested the top rated drugstore products from Ulta. That was like almost entirely a flop. Like I had so many products in that video that I just fucking hated, that I was like, why is this top rated? So many products that as I've been testing them more and more, I just don't understand why they're so top rated, you know? But everyone's skin is different and everyone has different needs. But overall, pretty successful video. I love the way that my makeup turned out, and I think that it's going to hold up well throughout the day, so I'm very happy about that because I need it to last pretty much all day. So that's gonna wrap up today's video. Comment down below and let me know if you've tried any of these products or a product that you love that is really top rated, really highly talked about, like a best-selling product. Let me know your favorite cream product below. I would love to know. Please subscribe if you have not already. It would mean the world to me. Like this video, ring the bell, do all the things. I hope that you guys have an awesome, awesome day, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!